Are you making music that sounds kind of robotic or programmed? It's easy to get stuck in the process of relying on the grid to make music, but don't worry. Getting out of it is really easy, and you'd be surprised how much of a difference it can make when you start using these tips. So, if you want to learn how to make your music sound more natural, stick around. Hey everyone, Jake with Transverse Audio here. To get your music to sound more humanized and less robotic or programmed, you really only need to take a few steps to get the results you're after. Now, there are definitely some cases where it's important to lock everything up onto a grid, but for the most part, letting your music flow is going to have a much deeper impact on the listener. Let's go over what we need to do to get our music sounding natural. The timing of your MIDI is quite important when it comes to making natural music. Now, if you've already made your score, don't worry. You can go back and fix it up if you wanted to. Slightly offsetting your notes from the grid is going to give your instruments a lot more character. There is, however, some limitations to this. The point of doing this is to mimic the natural flow of a person playing the instrument, instead of a computer. Another thing to keep in mind about timing is the speed a person can typically play at. Don't forget that there's a limit to how fast a musician can play, also how slow you can progress through your composition without losing the interest or integrity of your music. Now, velocity is also very important. If you've listened to a professional performance, you'll notice that not all notes are played the same. If you're using a MIDI controller, you might not have to change much. Some will respond to how hard or soft you press the keys, changing the velocity automatically. But typically, you'll be able to change the velocity in the piano roll. The point of this is to add flow and natural movement to your composition. You can change the velocity of certain notes to emphasize or to build tension. A lot of it has to do with flow and dynamics, but don't change things too dramatically. Just go with what sounds good, and you should be fine. Another huge element to making music sound more realistic is panning. Sure, panning is used a lot when trying to fit everything into a mix, but pay attention to the usual location of each instrument. If you want to go more in depth, pay attention to where the keys are located on a piano, panning certain sections to their respective position. When dealing with percussion, think about where the drums are located in the kit, panning those to where they should be as well. And to go even deeper, what listening perspective are you approaching it from? The performer or the audience? Whatever one you go with, make sure to pan the rest of the elements in the mix to the same perspective. As a final touch, pay attention to how many notes are being played at once, and the spacing between them. Think about the reach of a single hand when it comes to the distance between each note. Last time I checked, humans typically have 5 fingers on each hand, so keep that in mind when you arrange multiple notes to be played at the same time. Now, applying what you've learned is going to have a huge impact on your music, but it's only part of the process. Choosing the right instruments, tempo, effects, and many other things all add up to a good composition. If you want to learn more about this kind of stuff, don't forget to subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.